All right, let's begin. Come to your mats. Stand in Tadasana or standing mountain pose, raising your arms up to the sky, inhaling, exhaling out. Inhale, raise your chin, and exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Just letting go of everything that's on your mind, spending this half hour just for you. Exhale out. Inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale up. Exhale out. Forward fold. Keeping your knees bent, aiming to get your chest to your thighs. Let's relax it all out. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push into your feet, rise up slowly. Bringing your hands up to the sky, chin up to the sky, looking at the sun. Bringing your arms over to the right. Inhale to center and back to the left. And let's just flow back and forth, feeling that natural end. To the side, just pivot like a tree that's being blown by the wind, just back and forth, inhaling to center. We're going to go into a new move now, bringing your left foot back and reaching over to the right. Bringing your feet back to center, swapping out sides. Right foot comes back, leaning over to the left. Nice stretch in the outside. Bending your right knee, reaching up to the sky, and then bending your left knee, reaching up to the sky. Let's grab one of your blocks. Bring yourself to the front of the mat. Stretch your arms forward, push into that block, and then bring your shoulders back, and then push forward, bringing the scapula together, and then extending, creating a big space in between your back, scapula, and bring them together and forward. Keep pushing into that block, finding that resistance. Put your block down, and then grab both blocks, one in each hand. Palms up to the sky, raise your blocks up and down. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Turn your palms down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. 3, 2, and 1. Give your shoulders a shake. This time we're going to bring our elbows back and our scapula together. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up. Getting rid of that little fluffy chicken wing underneath our arm. Putting your box back onto the ground. Let's warm up those wrists. Circle your hands. And turn the other way. Bringing the heel of your hand together, putting some pressure on that as you rotate your hands in. Strong wrists are important. Let's have a conversation with our fingers. Quack like a duck. Keep going and increase the speed as you're working your fingers. Let's, at the same time that we're doing this, pay attention to our feet. Maybe rock back and forth on our ankles, coming up onto our toes, just playing with our ankles. Onto our toes and finding that balance. And then taking your wrists. I know I'm going back and forth here, we're multitasking here, but that's okay. Working our wrists, and now we're going to put our yoga block down and stretch out our ankles. And continue working those wrists up and down. Switch out feet with your ankles. We're just stretching everything back and forth, finding that mobility in your joint. Stretching out that calf. Now put your two blocks, grab your blocks, and come up onto your blocks. Root into the left leg and swing your right leg like a pendulum. Allow the weight of your leg to take over. And we're just going to be opening up and stretching the psoas muscle here. Squeezing your right glute, maybe putting your hand onto your belly so we're not using the lower back to do this swing, and that the leg is just swinging through the hip. And then we're going to switch on when you've had enough. Switch onto the right leg, anchor into the right side, squeezing that right glute, and allow your leg to swing back and forth. Shake out your legs. You can see I'm looking around because there's so many noises when you're up at the cottage. Let's grab our anchor into the left foot and grab our right leg and bring your foot up to your glute. Nice thigh stretch. And then prepare to let go, holding that heel to our glute as tight as we can. Stretch it out and repeat on the other side. And get ready to let go. Now find yourself the wall or the rail, whatever's closest to you. Anchor into the right foot and bring your left knee up. And let's do some nice big hip circles with our heel as close to our glute as possible. Knee comes up to the front and then out to the side and then back. 5 circles each direction. And switch sides. Nice big round circles, trying to keep your pelvis as neutral as possible. So much stuff for me to look at here, it's hard to remain focused. Isn't that the joy of being in a cottage and being distracted by nature? Let's shake our legs out. We're going to do some more of those ankle stretches because feet are really important when it comes to finding range in your flexibility. So holding somewhat of a runner's lunge, we're going to keep our ankles onto our toes onto our yoga blocks and just gently press into those ankles, stretching out that thigh. Calf muscles. Bring, when you have a moment, we're going to do this even more, bringing our block over to the wall or over to the side, Standing with our toes on the yoga block, dropping our heels. So a lot of what we've done today is just expanding the range in our ankles and stretching out our feet. Nice diver's pose. Up onto the toes, squeezing the glutes, holding the balance there, and then dropping the heels down. Not only is this just good for our overall range and balance, it's also good if you're riding, keeping ourselves centered in the saddle. Let's try this again, a little bit more bend in the knee as we drop our heels and up onto our toes. All right, go back to the mat. Put your blocks at the front of the mat. Standing with your feet hip distance apart, just gently rock her head back and forth from one side to the other. Shoulders up to the ears and making nice deep shoulder circles back. Feeling the range of your shoulders and the scapula come together and then come forward. Let's do some nice hip circles, finding that ooey gooey, the fascia. I want the fascia to be moving today, right? Even though I look distracted in this video, it was one of my favorite yoga flows because I was just so in tune to the nature and I was just absorbed in what was going on and allowing my body to move. So now I'm just looking at my knees and just allowing the knee joint to do circles and just feeling into the joint. And go side to side. This is finding my range in my ankles. What is that range? So let's spread our legs a little bit further apart, hinging at the hip, reaching forward, lengthening through the spine, finding that avocado tucked underneath our chin, exhaling forward fold. Grabbing your block if you need to for added support. Softening the knees. Can we relax even more into this? Inhale, lengthen the spine. And let's bend the right knee, left knee or right knee, and just go side to side, feeling that stretch in the inner thigh. And then coming back to center, lengthen the spine. Let's go back and forth again. Just feeling that movement, coming back to center, sitting back a little bit more with your tailbone, and then coming down to the left. Switch and come to the front into a runner's lunge. And then just reach your hands up forward into warrior one. Thinking of your hips pulling back, that left hip bringing the right hip forward. Inhale, come back to center and go into warrior two. Inhale, come back to center into warrior one. Switching that foot at the back into coming forward and stepping up into standing mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. And step back with the left foot. Warrior one. Inhale, switch into warrior two. And inhale back, switching that back foot into a runner's lunge. Stepping forward, rising up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Bringing your right knee up and toe flexed. Making a nice big hip circle like we did on the edge. Coming into warrior three. Stepping back into warrior one and then reverse warrior. Good job, guys. I know that this is hard. Take your time, meet yourself where you're at. Inhale up into goddess pose. Bringing your hands through heart center. Taking a deep breath. Exhaling out. Inhale, rise up, shifting yourself to the other end of the mat into warrior one. Pressing into your right foot, coming up into warrior three. Slowly bringing your leg back down. Do not bring it on the floor. Rise it all the way up your knee. Bend your knee. And then bring your foot to the ground. Good job. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, rise up. Your hands through heart center. Anchoring into your left foot, right knee comes up. If you can, grab your toe and stretch out your right leg. Holding on to that toe, bringing it back into dancer's pose. Modification is just to do the last flow that we did. Bringing it into warrior three. Lining up that pelvis, stepping back into warrior one. Switching our legs out to the side, coming into goddess pose, hands in front of heart center. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling out. Inhaling, rising up with our body facing the other direction, pushing into that right foot, rising up into warrior three, taking your hand, grabbing your foot into dancer's pose. As best as you can. Just challenge yourself that itty bitty time. Bringing yourself forward, grabbing that big toe, stretching out that leg. Doing the best you can. Bringing that foot forward, the heel comes up, bringing the foot down to the mat, standing mountain pose. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Rise up. Interlace your thumbs, pull out your elbows, opening your chest out to the sky. Nipples up there, open that chest, rise up, swan dive, forward folds. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into plank or modified plank, bringing your knees to the ground, lowering yourself to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale down. Inhale, come to tabletop. Drop your chest, drop your belly, lift your chest to the sky. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift to the sun. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Rooting into your right knee and your left foot. Extend your left foot and your right arm. Sucking in that belly, slurping in that belly. Bringing your hand back down and swapping sides. Slurping in that belly, rising the hand up and the foot up. And bringing your hand back down and the knee back down. Rounding your spine. Just finding your center. And let's do some shoulder push-ups. So just drop the rib cage, push the rib cage back up. Bringing the scapula together and down, and then push the scapula far apart. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. Finding your neutral spine. Putting a yoga block just so that we can make sure we're doing it right and not using our spine to help, and make some nice big hip circles. We want to keep that pelvis neutral. You got this. Nice big circles. And swap sides. Take your yoga block away if you want to, or just keeping it there. It's a great proprioception piece. Let's go back into some shoulder push-ups. Finding that neutral spine, engaging that rib cage in and up and then down. Stepping forward with the right leg in between your knees, coming up, and then bring your hands to the outside, gentle twist. Facing the right, inhale up and face the left. Inhale up, bringing your hands forward, tucking in your toe and going into your first downward dog, bending the knees, finding that hip hinge, sending that tailbone up to the sky, engaging the underarm like you're holding newspaper, rising up onto the toe, stepping forward with your right knee. Bring your hands up and gently twist to the left. And inhale up and gently twisting to the right. Inhale up, placing your hands back on the floor, tucking your left foot, going back into downward dog, sending our tailbone up to the sky, hinging at the hip, and just finding that peace and strength in your downward dog, bringing your knees down to the mat and shifting into child's pose. Taking some deep breaths here. Reaching our hands back and grabbing onto our heels, rounding our spine, chin to chest, and then just gently lifting up your pelvis a little bit for a nice stretch, rabbit pose. Rounding the spine and bringing yourself back into child's pose, reaching your arms forward, Bringing them over to the right side of your mat. Gentle stretch to the right side. Bringing them back to the center, coming to the left. Bringing your feet back to center, coming back to tabletop, stretching, bringing the left foot forward, putting your blocks on each side of your feet, extending that left leg forward and straight, flexing the foot, just bringing your hips back a bit, and let's just rock back and forth, and then stretching the hips and our hamstrings to whatever degree is comfortable for you. Just feeling a nice stretch and movement, even bringing up that right toe, flexing the toe and rising up through the pelvic floor if that feels good. Making sure that you're engaged in your core at the same time, dropping the knee and stretching it back. That happens more than I'd like to admit. Bending that leg, raising it up, just alternating before coming back and forth, so that you can just feel that flexibility happening into your hips. Going back into a downward dog, and we're going to switch out legs and switch out sides. And let's just go back and forth again. Right leg is straight, toes are flexed, tucking in that left foot and then bending the right knee, rising up into the pelvic floor, engaging that core. Bringing the left knee down and switching back, straightening the right leg. And using your blocks for support. Do what you can, listen to your body. This isn't a rush. This is like a forever practice. And if it gets better, it gets better. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You're meeting your body where it's at. So, you don't need to try this. I am working on doing the splits. I'm just going to add that in, just because it's the end of the 30 minutes, and it's something that I am working towards. If you want to try it, definitely give it a whirl, but you definitely don't need to do that. Good way to just come back up into your downward dog. I am going to go try the other side. But if you want to just bring yourself into Shavasana at this time, or do any movement that you feel is lacking and that you feel like you need to do, maybe just go into a happy baby or something, rolling back on your chest. This practice went a little bit longer than I thought, but you know, we have that time to extend it and make it our own. So finish your practice making it your own. And I will meet you on the mat on another day. It was great to see you here. I'm glad you were able to see my cottage, and enjoy the rest of your day.